Hello, we are Pringle team and we are going to present about NDA dialogue, but the NDA students cannot be here, so we are Miri, Marianne, and Milili, and we are going to present about what is to be a Mexican.
Okay, so let's start with Miri. What does it mean to you be a Mexican?
Well, for me, being Mexican means to share the culture and get involved with it, because our history it's a really historical. We have a really great culture that could be shared with others, because the history of our nation it's pretty incredible. How the Spanish people first came here, but we but for me, being Mexican is about sharing our culture and be proud of it, because we have many aspects that form us, that made us what we are today. For example, the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, how we celebrate the people and we share our culture with others. Yeah.
So Lily, what does it mean to be a Mexican to you?
Well, I totally agree with Miri. I think that, yeah, of course, our history is very important because most of the people who live in other countries know us, for example, with the Day of Dead, no? Dia de Muertos, as Miri says. And also, I think it's a difficult question, but for me, it means to live in a beautiful and biodiverse country and with huge of contrast, because as we have really bad things such as drug trafficking or femicides or those all of that bad things, we are very united and we have a lot of charisma. So it means for me to be very hardworking, despite being told that we are lazy, but we are not, and it's that we are underpaid or subemployed, and also it's to break the law and to have the best food and a beautiful cultural heritage. And for you, Marianne?
Well, I have to say that I can be more agree with you. I think that, of course, our traditions and customs make us who we are as Mexicans. And I think that, for example, one thing that you both of you said about the Day of the Dead ones, the Dia de Muertos. I don't know if you agree with me, but it's a tradition that not all the countries around the world have. For example, I think that the Mexicans can adore life as much as we can adore death, because not death is only like the end of something. It's at the beginning of a new life. That's the way that we as Mexicans see it, or well, I see it that way. I think that also for me to be a Mexican, it's to adore our culture, to accept all the history that we have had through the years that we have been here in Earth. I think that it's also thanks to the Spanish people, because they colonized us, and I think that maybe thanks to them, a lot of things that we have right now, like our language or belief in some God, like the religion, that also makes us Mexican, because, well, I think that some symbolize that really represent us as Mexicans are La Virgen de Guadalupe. It's a really big symbol of Mexicans. And well, I don't know if you agree with it, or can you tell me something about it?
Yeah,
Well, I
totally-
consider that,
sorry.
well, it's what you said, it's really, really good. And I agree with some of what you said. But the part that the Spanish people colonized us, I don't really like that part, because I think that we were not free, but we were brave enough to get our own name and not being like slaves for other people. And that's a really good event to share with others, how we get to our freedom. Like nowadays, I mean, we are not free enough, because we still have some aspects to be not proud of, like the gender equality, that it's not good in our country. But I consider we have a lot to share as well. For example, the sport. We have many athletes to be proud of, like that represent us in the Olympic Games. Many of them put our name in a really big
Like a big place around the world, right? Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot to share. For example, also the minority groups like indigenous people, sometimes we are discriminated, or those people live not justice events that we should not be proud of, but we actually should be proud of them, because we in Mexico have many languages, and the indigenous people have many aspects, like clothes, like what they are, how they talk. We should be proud of that. And yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, Miri, I think that you are right about the indigenous people, and I think we care of them only when people of other country like ask for them or something like that, because otherwise we only like discriminate them. So I think that that's a bad thing about us, because finally that is, well, that are our roots, and I think that we should be proud of it, but we are not, really we are not. So I think that that's the bad thing. And as Marianne says, I think that yeah, the Virgen de Guadalupe, it's very representative, especially nowadays that we are in December. So the 12th of December, I think it's the day we celebrate that date.
Yeah, I can be any, like, I agree with you guys. Like, I want to like retake something that Mary said about the colonized, that we were colonized. I think that, of course, before we were colonized, we have a very amount of indigenous people. We have the Mayas, Aztecas, etc., etc. Of course, I can be more agree with you, and I think that nowadays, we make those people like aside, like we like, okay, you are indigenous, okay, but you don't speak like our language, that is Spanish. So because of that, maybe I can like, we discriminate those people. Of course, I think that one thing that is like a problem, if I can say it like that, is that we discriminate those minority groups, because nowadays it's not like a big group, it's like a very, very minimized group of those people who represent the indigenous, the indigenous people. And well, I want to retake something I said before about the colonized of the Spanish people here in Mexico. I think that we have to remember that not only in Mexico, was in Latin America that Spanish people colonized Latin America. And well, of course, we were affected with that. Of course, we have pros and cons, of course. And I think that something that we learn about it, and we have until now, it's the language, the religion, maybe some of our traditions, customs, came with the colonized of the Spanish people. And I can be more agree with you, Miri. We have to celebrate our independence. It was the signature of the independence by 1821. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was that year. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember it was there. Yeah, it's really great that we celebrate those things, because nowadays, if if those events like never happened before, we weren't the persons that we are now. We will not have Spanish as well, or like main language. Maybe we don't have like the same tradition or customs. Maybe we even like dress different. Maybe we live in another like place, because, well, I don't know if you understand me, but yeah, I think that all of those events that happen in the history of Mexico makes us who we are, because we are like so, like, I don't know how to say, but like affected with that, all those things that we have through the history of Mexico that make us who we are. For example, I say before, like the Independence Day, now we celebrate it, but I don't know. What do you think, Miri?
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, as Lily said previously, we're not lazy people. We have many people to be proud of that put our name in a really big place. For example, the scientists like Mario Molina, or the artists that we have, that some of them are dead right now, like Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera. We also have many actors in Mexico that are now in a big place, like Salma Hayek, that just received her Hollywood star. That's amazing. Yeah, we should be proud of them. Like, they really worked hard to be where they are, and we should be proud of that.
Yeah, you're right, Miri. And well, yeah, the colonization obviously affect our past roots, because, yeah, nobody deserves to, yeah, what the colonizers do. But through history, we have built more firmly our national identity. I think that this is something very important, and that we have to be, uh, that we have to have present in our days. And many times we reject, as I said before, our indigenous roots, but also we have more developed culture, obviously the new language that we speak nowadays. And yeah, as I said, the religion is very important for the Mexican, and it is one of the things that unite us the most. So what do you think, Marianne? How have the existing institutions in our country shaped our view of sorry of justice, gender equality, hunger, peace, and
Oh yeah,
though
like the history of Mexico.
yes,
Yeah,
no, yeah,
well, I think that.
nowadays like the institutions that we have.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I will like answer your question with this, but I think that the education that we receive, for example, in primary, that we see all the history of Mexico. Of course, it affects us, because we know, like, okay, in this year, this event, and of course, we think that in nowadays that we are like teenagers, and also we are knowing more about, for example, politics, and we are more like conscious about more topics. For example, Miri said something about gender equality. Nowadays, us as teenagers, us are like the generation Z, we are really conscious about it. And I think that this seven, that, for example, feminism is one of the things, of one of the movements that will change the world 100%. I don't have a doubt about it. And I think that with these like little steps that we are making, we are going to make, of course, the world a better place, but not the world, especially in Mexico. I think that one of the institutions that really make us like understand all the history that Mexico has through the all of the years in the human being here in the earth is the education, like all the books of the SEP, all of that make us like understand what happened. And not only that, all, it can maybe just tell us like one part of one side of the story. Maybe we don't know like the other side of the story. And just quickly, I want to retake something that you said, Miri and Lily too. Us as Mexicans, we are not lazy. We are like really party people. We are really hardworking, and we always have this like feeling that we have to celebrate, right? As I said before, we celebrate life and also we celebrate death. So I think that Mexican is also to be really celebrating what you're doing. If you are like, if you do something right, you celebrate. We saw it in the sports. We can see it in sports. Canelo, the boxer, we celebrate. We see his fights and we celebrate when he wins. And yeah, also I agree with Miri. We have to be proud of them because they have the name of Mexico in their backs. Salma Hayek, Guillermo del Toro, Diego Luna, all of them, they have the name of Mexico in their backs. And I think that it's for me, Marianne, it's really, really amazing to be a Mexican because I can celebrate all the customs, all the traditions, all of the things, and I can also be proud of the history because, as I said before, with all of that, that all makes us who we are. I don't know, what do you think, Miri?
I love Canelo.
Well,
yeah.
We're definitely not a perfect country, and we have a lot of things to change. But we are building our heritage, and we're leaving it behind. But we're also building it day by day, and we're trying to make our country better in everything, in justice, in gender equality, and in changing the roles of the society that put in the past. We're trying to change that, and we have to understand that the world is changing and we are changing, and we have to create a better life for us in the future. We have to be proud of who we are, but we also have to know that we are wrong in some ways, but we can change it. And us as teenagers, for example, we are trying really, really hard to change some things, and I'm really proud of our generation, actually, and yeah, I'm happy for us.
Yeah, Miri, you're totally right. And also you, Marianne. And I think that, yeah, our generation is like more open mind, and I'm really proud that we are of this generation, because I think that we really can create the change and we can really help our country, because yeah, we have to think like in other countries and that stuff, but also I think that we must help Mexico, because we have many inequality in all aspects, not only in gender inequality, but also with the poverty and all the groups that we have. And I think that we have to act. And about the institutions, I think that honestly, we Mexicans need a lot of empathy, because I was reading about a report from the GESOC, that is an institution that in Spanish, that in English is Social Management and Cooperation. And in that report says that only 10% of the institutions that we have in Mexico work. So I think that it's a really big problem. And yeah, we have to start with us and in our home and with our friends. But also I think that the government should do like all that stuff to change these kind of things, because I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to change and blah blah blah, but if the government doesn't help me, it's like I'm going to be dead now. So I think that social problems such as violence against women, where we have high figures here in Mexico, uh, yeah, they have become like more visible through the time, especially with our generation. But these problems are still uncontrollable for us. So we have to be like more conscious about it. And yeah, that's what I think.
Well, I have to say that I agree with you, Lily. Something that we can make us, like the institutions, be more aware of something is that the government make action of it. Um, Something that you say about the violence that women can receive of by a man. Of course, the government, it's very, very sad that knowing that nowadays with the government that it's been these years, doesn't do anything about it. It's really sad that the president, now I will talk a little bit about politics, but it's really sad that the president make all of these um, problems above and be more aware of the sale of a plane that it won't like being sale. I don't know, like the plane that it doesn't like matter. And it's really, really sad. And he makes more like important some things that are really not important, like the Tren Maya, the plane, the fraud of the INE, the Institutional National Electoral, I don't know, like the INE that control the votes and everything, the fraud of the INE, that Felipe Calderon. It's like really messed up that our president make all these things that are really important to Mexico, but it's because it's happening. For example, the femicides are really big. I know that Mexico and Brazil are the first places in Latin America with more femicides, and it's really sad. It's really sad that the institutions doesn't like do anything about it. Not also with the femicide, also the violence, inequality, everything. It's really sad that we live in this situation, but as you said, our generation can make like the change of it, because well, we are really conscious about this thing, all these problems. We are making action of it, and I think that us as Mexicans, as the teenagers, this millennial generation set, people can make the difference, not also in our homes with our friends in the school, but also in a national way. I don't know, what do you think, Miri?
Yeah, we have many institutions that could be helpful, but we have to speak louder so we can be heard, because there are many issues that have to be solved, that have to be solved. But yeah, I think those institutions are good, but us as people, we have to speak louder so we can make our voices valid. and and yeah, I think that we have many problems here in Mexico, but that doesn't mean that we are a bad country, because many times we put our name down, we as Mexicans also, not only the foreign people. um, but yeah, I consider we have to talk a lot more about our good aspects, because many people have the stereotype of Mexicans being like bad persons. As Lily
previously said, like narcos and all that stuff, but we are not just that, you know. We have many cultural aspects that we can share to the world, and we just don't have to speak about our issues. I mean, we have issues and they have to be solved, but we also have to talk about the good aspects. So Mexico is not in a bad place, in a bad view from others. um, yeah, I think Mexico is an incredible country. We have a great culture to share, and the institutions we have could be helpful to solve those problems that are left to the world. um, but yeah, I consider that we also have to talk about the good ones.
Yeah, sadly, as you said, yeah, we have to speak like more loudly and say what we think. But despite that we fight, that we uh, speak, that we make our I don't know how to say it in English, but our marchas and manifestaciones. um, the government and the people that around us still says that it's, sorry for the word, but that is bullshit and that stuff. So that doesn't help us. And I think that, yeah, that's a really big problem. And yeah, we hope, well, I hope that soon gets better. But yeah, we have to be more firmly and yeah, as you said, we have to be we are united, but we can be more united because, yeah, as we said, we discriminate the people that is from here. And also we discriminate the people like the migrants that are fighting because they only want to live. So we have like a bad image about them, and we sometimes like we believe what other people says, like Donald Trump, that he says that we are only bad people, and we are not. It's like in all the things, yeah, we have the bad things and the good things, but I think that we are good people and we only want to live and to have the basic things to live right and to eat and to have our family in good conditions. But yeah, we have to work on that stuff.
Yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah, please, 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 Mary,
yeah, it's
please.
just a little bit quick. There's a thing we forgot to mention. For example, well, our country, it's a really, we have a lot of biodiversity, and that's also a good point to share with others. And that's it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Mexico has a lot of, like Lily said, positive things and bad things, of course, as every country has, right? So with all the things that we have said before, I want to finish saying and ask you guys, so what does it mean to you to be Mexican? Are you proud of it? Are you like not proud of it? You want to move to another country? I don't know. Please answer me, Lily. Please, I will start with you.
Yeah, well, I'm really proud to be Mexican. I really love it. And when I have the opportunity to be in another countries and to talk with people in different places, I feel really, really proud when I say, yeah, I'm from Mexico. And I think that it's the good part. And I think that me and the citizens, um, we imagine that Mexico can have a great future. For example, as I said before, the people that are in disadvantage can have access to basic things such as health, education, food, all the stuff. and also that the laws are really enforced and that the governors stop thinking only on themselves and really do something to help the citizens. But yeah, despite that things, I'm really proud to be Mexican, and I love to celebrate what we have in our culture. I love our traditions. I love our food. I think that it's the best one. And yeah, I really love it. What do you think, Miri?
Yeah, I agree with you. We should be proud of every aspect of Mexico. Well, not every aspect, but every cultural thing of our country. And yeah, when saying we're Mexicans, we should be proud and loud of who we are.
Yeah, of course. I have to agree with you guys. I think this talk really makes me feel happy because I have to know, like, what do you think about all the things that maybe happens in Mexico, right? Like, what do you think about the culture, the problems that happens in Mexico? What do you think about the history? And I think that, of course, I have to say that I love being Mexican because I have the opportunity to celebrate all the traditions that we have, all the food, because I think the food is the best part of all, right? Tamales, tacos, enchiladas, they're like really delicious. And of course, all the things that Mexico can um, bring us, right? Like the uh, well, in Spanish is the pueblos mágicos. It's really amazing when you travel around around Mexico and you see other people's like traditions and also the gastronomical things. It's really amazing. I think Mexico is one of the best countries around the world. I love being Mexican. I love um, all culture, all traditions, everything. I really love being Mexican. And well, of course, as I said before, there are some things positive and negative, but um, I love to be Mexican. That's what I want to say. So I think we will wrap this up. I will thank you guys for your time. Thank you for your thoughts, your feelings about Mexico, what it means to be a Mexican. And well, I just want to say that I send you a really big hug and thanks so much. I don't know if someone wants to say something.
Oh, thank you. I really
Thank
love
you. Thank you.
this talk and hope to see you soon, guys. Bye.